Says, welcome to the live chat. So I'm assuming that some people in the world can see this. I don't know. There's no way of knowing. And I don't really know how to check it. Oh, I know. I could check it on my laptop, couldn't I? I could see if I'm broadcasting or not. Oh, I think I am, as there's billions of people suddenly asking me questions. There's a bit of it, it's too fast. It's mental. Luckily I've got some questions. So, hello. This is YouTube Live. It's the sort of thing I used to do on X and a little bit on Instagram, mainly on X. I started doing it sort of through the pandemic, and we called it Bollocks Live. There's even a fan club called the Bollocks Gang. Yeah, I just answer your stupid questions. Not all stupid. Mainly the ones from dogs and cats are stupid. So this is how it works. Someone said, do you eat eggs? No, I'm vegan. That was easy. Right, I've got a bit of a cold as well. That's why I've got a nice butch voice at the moment. Anyway, cheers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And welcome to my first YouTube Bollocks Live. Right, question. Kian, what processes do you go through when deciding what to make your comedy about? Oh, that depends. I mean, you're sort of at the mercy of having an idea. So sometimes it's character first. Mostly sitcom is character first, but then you have to find out where you put that character and what it's about. Like Derek existed way before I thought of put him in an old people's home. And then you find out what is that about. Whereas something like Afterlife, the idea came first, the concept came first. What if you lost everything and you were going to kill yourself, but you didn't because the dog was hungry? You could do anything. You can always fall back on that. You can, and then you build that up. David Brent existed before The Office, but it sort of came hand in hand because I'd worked in an office for like 8 or 9 years, and it really made sense to make it about that, about office politics. And he really thrived being a middle manager. You could put him anywhere now. So it sort of depends. But you are at the mercy of having an idea. Like I'm working up a new show at the moment, live. And I just go around trying to think of things that ever happened to me, like childhood. I like to do things like childhood and school and family because it stops you talking about celebrity and being in the public eye, because that can get a little bit boring. I mean, for me, so it depends. But with sitcom, it's usually a character first, and then you build stuff around them. But it depends. Dave, when are you going to get round to doing a new live show? Dave, I'm in the middle of it, mate. I've done about 12 new material nights. I'll probably do another 30 or 40 maybe. I've got about 28 minutes. But even that changes. When you get a new bit, you go, oh, that's better than that other bit. And you keep going back to, half an hour until you've really done maybe 60, 70, 80. And the reason I do so many now is because I think people pay a lot to see my live show, so it better be ready. On my early stuff, when I used to do like 40 dates, the last 10 were better than the first 10. So I used to feel sorry for the people who'd bought the first. Sometimes I go back to a town I go, no, this is it, it's better now. So now, before I start charging full price, I make sure that show is already pretty much as good as it can be. Yeah. So to answer your question, Dave, it'll be ready, finished to start charging full price around the world in about September, October, maybe. Keena, how would you persuade younger generations to support charitable causes? Well, it makes you feel good. It's the right thing to do. And you don't have to take let's say animal charities, because I know a lot about those, and they're the ones that I've really honed in on, and that's the one I do most charity for. But you don't have to give millions of pounds and volunteer every day. Little things you can do, like for example, just don't add to the pain in the world. So don't spend £2,000 on a inbred pedigree dog. Rescue one. You've done an amazingly good thing. The more people start getting pedigree, the more people are breeding dogs and the more unwanted dogs there are. So just if you get a dog, make sure you adopt. Eat less meat, then less animals are killed. If you eat meat, right? I'm not going to say you shouldn't eat meat. I'm vegan, right? But I don't preach. But if you eat meat and you give up meat one day a week, we feed another 100 million people. It's just, so you don't have to do much. You can just not do bad things. So it's easy. And then you'll find a real passion and find the thing you care about most, and it's good. It makes me feel good, Anyway, Julia, why did you want to become a comedian? Well, I didn't for ages. I've always liked comedy. I've always tried to be funny. I've always tried to make people laugh. But I never thought it was a job growing up. I thought my passion for like science would be my job. And I actually went to university to study biology and then changed to philosophy because I realised I don't know, I thought, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I going to get a job? I want to be a pop star. I discovered David Bowie. And so I did that. I changed to philosophy, which was 7 hours a week. And I joined a band and got signed. And it was over immediately. I failed really quickly. I failed as fast as I succeeded. And then I got a normal job, I got a job in an office, and I guess I made notes, but I wasn't thinking I'm going to become a big comedian. You just do what you enjoy, and I sort of fell into it, and I got a job in a radio station, and I started popping up on air, and then I got a job on a show called the 11 o'clock show, sort of a late night sort of SNL with a lot more swearing, I guess, which is about 98, 99. And then I just thought, well, this is my job now. I'm a comedian. So I sort of fell into it, and I really grabbed the bull by the horn, because I was, what was I, 37? So late. And now I think, wow, it's the best job in the world, obviously. So yeah, that's why. I don't know if it's why. I guess it's more how. How long have you been a cat lover? I think since I was born, since as long as I can remember. I was born into a household with a dog that was already getting on a bit called Betsy, which was a fat little fox terrier cross, and a big fat grey fluffy cat called Smokey. Now, so I loved these two. Right? I remember when I told you Betsy, our dog, used to sit under my pram in the garden, just guarding me. And I think Betsy died when I was about 7 or 8, and I got my first dog, my first new dog called Lucky, a black lab. And Smokey, the cat, died when I was about maybe 3 or 4. And my mum's party trick, when friends or neighbours came round, and I was 4, she used to sing, she used to go, "What's this?" She used to sing, "On top of old Smokey, all covered in snow." And I would cry, which is a pretty good party trick. Come in, do you want to see my child cry? Watch this. So I suppose that's where I got my empathy and love of animals from. I don't know. It never occurred to me. I didn't have to grow to like animals. I wanted to have a cat and a dog, everything, but you're only allowed to have a cat and a dog. No hippos allowed in Reading when I was growing up. See, this is the sort of thing I was talking about. These have been pretty good questions. They're usually mental. So I think it's already a better class. So maybe I'll do another one of these. Tom, that was Mary, by the way, and Julia and Keena. I don't know if I'm saying the names even. Tom, you've travelled a lot around the world. Where was your favourite place that you visited? Well, I go back, so I regularly go back to my favourite places, and I've probably honed it down to 10 or 15, mostly in Europe. Me and Jane sometimes do our top 5 that we can't wait to visit when I'm on tour. Copenhagen might be number 1. So might Prague. So might Amsterdam. So might Stockholm. Oslo, Zurich. Went to Milan for the first time. Absolutely loved that. Went to Geneva. So what was that? Oh, Scandinavia is amazing. But then Prague. Oh God, I can't narrow it down. But those are some of my favourite places, and I highly recommend all of them. Jezza, what one joke that you've written do you still laugh at when you think about it? Oh, that is so tricky. Well, the first thing I thought of there, and it isn't really a joke, it's David Brent in the training day competing, going, "I think there's been a rape up there." That makes me laugh because of the situation, because he's so desperate. It just sums up David Brent. It's such a weird thing to say, to win a role play thing. So I remember after the first series The Office went out, someone asked me what's the favourite line, and it was that. So that one as a line, because of the situation, because of the character. It's not really a joke. If by joke you mean a one-liner, I don't really do them. If I do a one-liner in a sitcom or a film, it's usually that you're laughing at the person that did it, or it goes wrong. Like David Brent, when he does jokes, he gets them wrong, or they're not funny, or I deconstruct them. The closest, I don't even do jokes like one-liners or puns or two blokes go into a pub. I don't even do that in my stand-up. They're much more about situations and And I don't know, I guess attitude, value, um, just the Golden Globes. Writing for the Golden Globes is the one time I do traditional one-liners, I'd say. And over my 5 hosting stints, I've probably written like maybe 100 or 150 jokes. The first joke I wrote when I first got asked to do it, and I was going to try and get it into the monologue because it was very topical at the time. But then I found out I was actually introducing this guy as a presenter, so I made it a little bit different. It was one of the times I came out after the monologue, and it was I went out with a beer and I said, I'm sorry I'm drinking. I like a drink as much as the next man, unless the next man is Mel Gibson. So it worked a treat. I think one of my favourites might be in the last Golden Globes I did, when I say, there's no in memoriam this year. When I looked at the people who died, the list wasn't diverse enough. It was mostly white people, so I thought, nah, not on my watch. Which, that has got to be... Because it was just right in the middle of all that virtue signaling. Not that it's gone away, but that was sort of, I think that was peak virtue signaling and people worrying about what they could say and couldn't. So, yeah, it might be that one. I don't know. It's low. I can't remember them all. Joss, when you write your script, do you hear the character saying this? Yeah, usually. And do you write those lines with them in mind? Well, that's the thing. Like, when I did The Office, I didn't know who was going to play those parts. So you have someone in your mind, then you cast. And then the second series, you know who you're writing for. So it's easier because you can hear their voice, you can write for them, you can write for their physicality. You know what they're good at, you know if they're good at libbers or prefer it, written down. So what I started doing is often casting before I sort of write the piece. I did that with Derek and Afterlife. I've done it with Alicats. So it's so much easier and so much, what's the word? It's so much richer and realer that you write with their voice and, in mind. So yes is the answer, more and more. And he says, for example, David Earl, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I always think of David when I'm writing lines for him. Lauren, what was your most favourite episode of Extras and why? My gut feeling says it's the Bowie one. That would be up there. For the thrill of being in the same room and co-writing a song with him and him being a hero, yes, I think you're probably right. But if objectively, if I looked at what episodes, I think, and what was absolutely perfect for the time and the vehicle, and got closest to the bone, and probably resonated most, certainly with people in Britain, it was probably the Les Dennis episode. So yeah. Kim, here we go. Here we go. Kim wants to know, Would you rather have legs instead of arms or arms instead of legs? Well, I've answered quite a few of these. So, this is the question. So I've got to have legs as legs and legs as arms as well. So I've got 4 legs, right? Or 4 arms. What's best? It's a no-brainer for me. Whenever it's like feet versus hands, I've got to choose hands. I'd have to choose 4 hands. Because, right, if you've got 4 legs, you can walk upright with your feet. What can you fucking do? You know, you can probably just about hold it, but I can't play the guitar. I can't knit. I can't darn my own socks. What can you fucking do with just like a pair of fucking legs and feet? I mean, you'd be a good fighter. Oh my God. Actually, think of standing up with like another pair of legs to fucking kicking people in the face. Be devastating. Isn't a kick about 5 times like a punch? So no one would mess with you. I mean, I know you say, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but you could kick anyway. But no, because you might fall over, mightn't you? You're on 1 leg when you're kicking. Think of having 2 legs planted and kicking with 2 fucking legs. That'd be amazing. Now, 4 hands, I can do all those things. I can play 2 guitars. If I'm sitting down, I could play 2 guitars. I could play bass with my bottom hands and guitar. That would be amazing. Someone said juggler, yeah. I think, yeah, getting around. So how would I get around? I'd probably have to walk like a chimp, wouldn't I? If I had 4 arms and hands. That'd be all right. Because all the things you could do, I can only see that as an advantage, that walking properly and being able to kick people in the face. That is the only advantage I can see with 4 feet and legs. But 4 hands, oh my God. I mean, you'd be a freak, whatever, wouldn't you? I mean, it's not ideal. I like the 2 legs, 2 arms. That works, doesn't it? It works. It's like 3.5 billion years of evolution says that is the best. So it's got to be arms instead of legs. Well, that was an example of what you can achieve on YouTube live, talking absolute bollocks. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, and this goes down well, I'll do some more. Someone said pouring a Dutch barn ginger spiced. Good on you. And it helps donkeys. Go to dutchbarn.com as well. But yeah, if you're going to buy one, if you don't drink much or you don't care, or, you know, buy a bottle of ginger beer. It tastes amazing, particularly with ginger beer. It is one of the nicest drinks I've ever had. That's the truth. And it helps donkeys. So that's my plug. Have a lovely weekend. Now I've got to turn this off with my fat fingers without looking like a fucking granddad on Zoom. Right. Good. I'll do more if you liked it. Let me know. Tatty bye, everyone. Fucking out.